Hi everybody, I'm Debbie with Best Case Mama Fab Finds, and today is a video lamenting an issue with Goodwill. And I just wanted to share with you because I've given Goodwill a million chances. I really have tried to have goodwill towards Goodwill, and I've tried to explain that I know their mission isn't what their mission is and all the things they are, but I have gotten to a place now where I am calling people to really just don't give them your time of day. Do not do it. They're just in the wrong lane. They're not being good people at Goodwill. And, I hope that some CEO hears this someplace, because I'm in New Jersey. We have several Goodwills. They're all pricing their stuff up to where it makes no sense. And I have dealt with that. I have dealt with they don't know what they don't know. I have dealt with the fact that you've got people in the back looking things up on their telephones and not realizing that things don't work the way they think they do. It isn't what it sells for on a different thing on eBay. It isn't, it isn't what they're looking at, that there's back things where you can see the actual sold prices and you have to kind of look at highs and lows and figure out the middle range. It isn't exactly what they think it is, but it's fine. You do you stay in your lane. But when you start deceiving people intentionally and doing things intentionally to your customers in order to deceive them into buying things that they would not buy otherwise, that's where I draw, because that's just plain old fraud, folks. And when you're doing fraudulent things to your customers, or allowing your employees to do it to your customers, then I got a big problem with you. Okay, I really do. I have a big problem with you now, because I don't need to shop at Goodwill, and I'm not going to anymore. And you know what? You all think that you're thwarting people that are reselling, and that you can go and be on eBay and you can do this and you can raise money, and that's great. You do whatever you want to do, but I got news for you. The people that buy from you, that are buying things wholesale, that are reselling it so that it won't end up in a landfill, because we all know lots of what you take in from your people that are so kind to donate to Goodwill to help a good cause, because they think they're helping poor people get things for cheaper, which is not at all what you do. Okay, you do say you help provide jobs, okay, but most people just don't know that. They realize that you take things, you sell them, they think they're helping people in the community get things cheaper, but that's not what you do. That's not at all what you do, and it's not really disclosed clearly that isn't your motivation into taking these things, and that so much of what you do you dispose of, or you send to the bins, or you send on ferries overseas, or they go to a landfill. So you're not doing any of the things that people probably think you're doing, which is helping your communities. You're providing jobs for people with special needs who need to learn job skills. That's basically what you do at Goodwill, and that's great. That's wonderful. But when you allow the employees there to deceive people intentionally, and when this happens over and over again, that's where I draw the line, and it's enough is enough. Every sticker is covering like the name brand, so it has to be peeled back if you want to see if there's a name brand on it. If there's a sticker on it, it's always stuck to the sticker, so that and I've dealt with that. I know what you're up to, but I've dealt with it. It's okay. But today's thing was not okay. Today's thing really ticked me off. So I am here to encourage everybody to get on the train of telling Goodwill exactly what they can do with their bad behavior, okay? Because it's just not okay. And it's not even about the money, because this costs $5. It's not the end of the world. But here's my plight. So I bought this red apple. It's a marble apple. It's very pretty. It's got a brass stem. It is made in Taiwan, and the sticker was on the other side of this, which I'll show you in a minute, because the sticker was covering something. Okay, so the sticker was stuck to the front of it. I could see the made in Taiwan. You got to admit, I was happy that they didn't stick it here, because that's usually what happens. And if there's a name on it, you can't see it. But they didn't stick it here. They stuck it to the front. So I thought, okay, well, great. So it's a alabaster, so I paid $5 for it, and it was maybe worth 10, 12. Okay, so it wasn't a huge amount of money. Irony, my daughter was thinking about taking it. She applied for a teaching job, and I thought, you know what? I probably will give it to her to take to school to keep on her desk as a paperweight, because it's just so pretty. And I can't even do that, because that's what's on the other side. Yes, it's personalized with some man's name. And that's where they put the sticker, intentionally to hide the fact that it was personalized. So that the unwitting person who was buying it as a gift or buying it to resell would buy it and then not be able to do anything, because guess what? Marble, you're not getting it off. There's nothing you can do to fix that. You can't. you'd have to, it's like an acid process, and then you have to repolish it, and it's really hard, and it's time consuming, and it'll cost way more than what this is worth, even if I was going to undergo it, which I'm not. Okay, so now I have the pleasure of throwing it away, because to me it's worthless. I can't even give it to my daughter because it's got somebody else's name on it, and it was intentionally put there. They did it on purpose, and they do these things on purpose. I also bought some plates, which I've already wrapped up, which were purposely taped together with the tape over one chip in each plate. They were put in exactly the right position so the tape would go over the chips, so that nobody could see the chips. And even if you inspect it really carefully, it was just a little bit of tape over the chips. And they're just flea bites. But it was intentional because there were two plates, and they were both one chip on each plate and positioned just so the tape would go over both chips, so you could no way see it. It's not okay. If it's broken, throw it away. You throw away millions of things. You throw away millions of things. Yet you'll put crap out on the floor that's got holes in it that smells like somebody's butt is still in it. It's just disgusting sometimes. But you won't throw away those things because you think you can deceive somebody into spending money on it, even though you know it's worthless, even though you know that nobody's going to want it. So rather than just tossing it and saying, hey, it's personalized, nobody's going to want this, or hey, it's got chips, nobody's going to want this, or nobody's going to take this, or at least point out the chips. There was a day when I started doing this and I went to Goodwill where they would put a little orange decal to show you that there was a chip, or put a little orange decal to show you there was a crack. Now the game is, if you can hide it and still put it on the floor. I go out and, there's a $75 fake Coach purse or a fake Louis Vuitton purse. Anybody else tried to do that, the police would come. Goodwill tries to do it, and everybody looks the other way. And they say, well, we can't validate the authenticity of the purse. Well, I can, and I'm telling you that's a fake, and why are you pricing it up? Not that I want it, but for pity's sake. If you don't know that it's authentic, why are we pricing up things? Because it has somebody's initials on it? If you don't know, then don't do it, okay? Like, it's just infuriating. So this just was the end for me today. Because I spent a good 5 minutes getting that sticker off of there, because we know these stickers for Goodwill have the security things in them, and they, you got to get like a hot air thing to get them off because they're meant to stick on there for life. And it was just so intentional. And like, I wouldn't even cared, like, it wouldn't have bothered me if there was a chip on the bottom or something. Like I said, it's not worth that much money. I didn't pay that much money. I could have given it to my daughter. I can't even do that with Mr. So-and-so's name on it because they did it on purpose. I'm outraged at this point. And I've tried to give them the benefit of the doubt over and over again. And over again, this is the kind of shenanigans that goes on. I mean, I just can't. I can't even fathom. Like, when you go into the store and you look and they have like a little plush for $12.99. And, it's just ludicrous and it's stupid. And I wish someone would talk to them. Like, guys, you get it for free. You're making 100% no matter what you sell. And you can make more money selling lots of things cheaply than you can make selling a few things for more money than they're worth. And you're probably going to end up sending more things to the bins or more things to the landfill or throwing more things away because you're simply overpricing things, and people aren't going to pay that much for it, or people can't afford to pay that much for it. And you're going to put yourself out of business with your greed and your avarice and your ignorance and your duplicity and your nasty habits of doing things to deceive people. I mean, when you deceive people, when you take things out of a vehicle and throw them in the trash, it's deception. It's if you don't want it, someone else does. Just tell the lady, hey, we got enough stuff. We're so sorry. Take it to the Salvation Army. Maybe they would like it. Or take it to the Purple Heart people. Perhaps they would like it. They also, Savers does, I think, Purple Heart. I know that the one near us is Savers Group, and they do Purple Heart. Like, or to the Red, White, and Blue, they also do for veterans. Like, there's so many other places. There's little church shops. There's little, breast cancer shops. They're all over the place. There's, Catholic charities. There's so many places that you can give things that they will be grateful to have it. And yet, they'd rather take it and throw it away. Like, why? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Nothing of this makes sense to me. It's just greedy and despicable practices. I don't know. You don't train your people right. If you don't train your managers right, if you don't train your CEOs right, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do it, but you're making a mess of it, and it's going to drive you out of business. And can't say I'm going to be sorry. I can't say I'm going to be sorry. I feel sorry for all the kids and the young people that are special needs that work there and are going to have to go work someplace else. I do feel sorry about that. But honestly, I've heard all the things about that too. And I'm not so sorry about that either, because they're not really treated greatly. I mean, it's like I don't know the whole deal, but you can go watch other videos about how the people that are special needs that work there have so many hours that they work, and that Goodwill is only responsible for paying them a very small amount of money. And I think it's like pennies under the dollar. And the rest is done through a grant program, I believe. Don't quote me on it. It's just from what I've heard. Okay, but if that's true, then they're benefiting, I'm sure, from the way they do the business, because they wouldn't do it if they didn't benefit. I'm convinced of that, which makes them not too much or not. They're not really nonprofit. And the people that work, the CEOs make a lot of money. It just aches my heart that people do things that are just insidious and deceptive. And I can understand a mistake. You didn't see a chip. I can understand you didn't see a stain. I can understand it's cheaper to have fluorescent lights than good lighting, and it makes it harder to see the stains. And I can accept all those things. I can accept that, you're paying more people more money because the minimum wage increased and your rents increased and all these things have happened. So you need to charge more for some things. And I do understand all those things, and I have been sympathetic. But the minute you start lying to their customers, deceiving intentionally your customers, trying to do harm to your customers through your bad practices, is the time that I'm out. And I hope that this will inspire other people to feel the same way about it, because there is no way in this world that any company should be able to do the things that they're doing intentionally. And I don't think maybe it's corporate telling them to, maybe it's not corporate telling them to. But if you've got employees doing this, or managers allowing employees to do this, or managers doing this, then you've got a problem in your company, and the buck stops at the CEO. And I know this because I've been there and I am one. Okay. So I know if my company does something wrong, I'm the one that the buck stops here. Like, I'm the one that's responsible. I'm the one that has to answer for it. And I'm the one that needs to explain it to my board of directors why this has happened and what we're going to do to correct it. I'm the one that has to do that, because that's my job. So if you've got people doing this and you're unaware, then you're not doing your job. Because also, as an upper management or CEO person, you need to know what's happening in your departments and your stores with your personnel at all times. You're supposed to have you like regular meetings. What's going on in the store? How are sales? How are your employees? What are your practices? What are you doing? Why are your sales up so much? Okay, that's great. How are you driving sales? Because in our state, and in a lot of states, they got rid of their sale days. They got rid of their half price ticket days. They got rid of a lot of those kinds of things, and they don't have them anymore. You go into Goodwill now, and there's no, a ticket is half price today. None of those practices are happening. They've gotten rid of all those. They've raised their prices. They've done all these things, and now they're doing this too. And that's it. I just can't. And, I've seen a lot of other videos out there of things that are happening, like I said, where they're getting donations and throwing them right in the crusher. They're not even putting them on the floor or sending them to the bins or sending them to, whatever they were doing with them before. They're doing things that are really awful. But this is the straw that broke. Once you start really intentionally lying to your customers and intentionally deceiving them and doing things to harm them. You know what? I have a YouTube channel now, and I'm going to tell everybody that you did it, and I'm going to tell everybody how you act, and I'm going to tell everybody that you're doing bad practices, and I'm going to shout it to the rooftops, because you've ticked me off, and it was not okay. And like I said, not about the money. It was $4.99, $5.99 maybe. I don't care. It's not about the fact that I can't give it to my daughter. It's not about the fact that I'm not going to be able to sell it on eBay for $12 and I'm a reseller. It's not about any of that. Doesn't hurt me that way. It doesn't hurt my feelings either. It's wrong. Lying to your customer, deceiving your customer, doing things like that to your customers who come into your store, faithfully and spend money there on a regular basis, some of us, and you do that intentionally to deceive them. It's wrong, and I'm out. So I will no longer be shopping under any circumstances at Goodwill. I don't care what you do. I don't call me and I don't care. You are going to have to do some heavy lifting to prove that you have changed your ways. And I have a feeling you're not going to be able to do it before you're driven out of business by your bad behavior. And if that is how it goes down, so be it. Because I'm sorry, you reap what you sow, and you've been sowing sour apples, babies. You've been sowing wormy apples to the public now for a couple years, maybe longer, and everybody's fed up. Everybody is fed up with the bad behavior. They're fed up with you doing things intentionally to harm your customers and doing things that are shady and deceptive, and we're all done with it. We're just done with it. An apple a day keeps Goodwill away, and that's where we are right now. So guys, I do thank you for watching. This is a short one, and I'm sorry I had to rant, but it just made me so angry because it was so intentional. And I hope that you will go out and you will boycott Goodwill, and that you will share just being angry at them with as many people as you can. As you see, I was not going to do a video today. I don't have earrings in, nothing. I don't care. I am aggravated with them. I'm done. I'm done with buying things and getting them home and seeing that they've, put them in a way that they've hidden damage. And they did it. This is like not the first time either. This is like the fourth or fifth time just lately. I'm done. And all from Goodwill, and all hidden little ways and I kept giving them the benefit of the doubt, and giving them the benefit of the doubt, and giving them the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't intentional, that it was just, I didn't realize it. And, I bought like a little bag of ornaments, it was a little nativity scene. It was owls. I knew they sometimes get broken, but it looked like one was broken. And literally every one was broken, and none of the pieces were in there. So that means they were broken before they ever went in the bag. It's one thing when they're broken because they were in the bag. It's a whole other thing to bag up broken things and sell them as if they weren't broken. That's just deceptive. But again, gave them the benefit of the doubt. Shouldn't have bought it in the bag. I know better to do it. I have bought things in bags. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So I chalked it up to, no, okay, you bought it in the bag. You took, your own fault. But this is like just enough. Like, this was so blatant. And the plates, like I said, those, I just did those the other day, and okay, they had little like flea bites on them. All right, I should have known if there's tape on them. I should have double checked. I should have picked, I always take it on, like, I should double check things better, and I should, but this sticker was not, the sticker was like glued on there, like fitted onto the apple really careful. And I was just grateful it wasn't on the bottom, so that it wasn't covering up the sticker from Taiwan, because that's usually it is. So I was, I took that as meaning it was, good. I never would have thought that it was personalized, because who would cover that knowing it's personalized? Well, Goodwill would. So anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I'm sorry I ranted today, but it just irritated me beyond end, as you could see. And I don't irritate easy. I have a really long fuse. Like, I am the calmest person you will probably ever meet. So if I'm angry, you've done it too many times to me to get me angry like this. And I am angry at them. I'm angry at them because, no charitable organization that's supposed to be helping people, no matter what your thing that you're helping, even if it's, even if part of it's helping yourself, which apparently it is, but no matter what it is, when you look at a charitable organization, charitable, just makes you think that they're also honorable and caring, and good is in their title. Goodwill is in their title. And that they're doing something to, that's good for the community and good, and they're not. They're just not. It's just not. Or I'm sure maybe they were once upon a time. I'm sure that's where they started. But I think they've lost their way, and their greed and has gotten the best of them, and, lining their own pockets. However, legally they can do that and still remain a nonprofit is what their goal has been. And that's a shame. It's a shame, because I'm sure they could have chose to do other good things in their community, but instead they chose to amp up and try to make more money in a, what had been a difficult economy over the last couple of years. Economy's, getting a little bit better, but they're hurting themselves. And I recently have noticed that some of the other stores that were following that kind of direction, not this kind of direction where they're trying to deceive people but raising prices up, have been bringing prices down because they're realizing that they're not making more money doing that, which is the truth of the matter. You can get up to a certain dollar amount for certain things, but you can't go above that dollar amount. So like a t-shirt at $3 for a pre-owned t-shirt, like $3.99 at top, is probably the most you're going to get for a t-shirt. No matter what the brand is, it's pretty much the most. And once in a while, there's going to be a t-shirt in those t-shirts that's worth a lot of money, like a vintage, whatever, Kiss t-shirt. But not all your t-shirts are going to be worth $10. And I was recently at the Goodwill, I think, where I bought this apple, as a matter of fact, and they had all their t-shirts were priced $9.99, and they probably still have all their t-shirts because I don't think any of them were worth $9.99 for resale or anything. Like, who wants a used, all stretched out t-shirt for $9.99? I can go to Walmart and probably buy one for $7, brand new. So they're putting themselves out of business with their greed. When I can go to TJ Maxx or to Walmart or to Target or to any other store and find something, decent for myself that's, that I like for what I can pay for a used one at Goodwill, has got problems. And that's where they are now because they've lost their minds completely, apparently. So that's it for today. I'm tired. I need to go take a nap. I'm still have an earache. If you haven't seen, I might not have got to those videos, but I've had an earache for 2 weeks and I've had medicine and it's just not going away. But anyway, I thank you so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate you. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it, definitely share it. I want everybody to know that Goodwill is just not doing Goodwill-ish stuff. They're doing bad-willish stuff, and people need to know. So share it out there with everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.